A lot of people think they need more income to feel financially secure. But what if the real problem is simpler than that? What if they just don't have a real plan? So before you chase fire, early retirement, or the next investment trend, this episode might help you fix the part that actually matters first. Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. I'm joined by Vivek. So Vivek, great to have you here.
Same here, Viv. Same. It's good to be here.
Okay. Let's start with the most basic thing. Like when people hear the words financial planning, what do they usually get wrong?
When people talk about financial planning, the most misunderstood thing is that they assume that it's only for wealthy people and not for, you know, someone who's working or someone who has a career, etc. They think it's only for businessmen who are earning in crores. They tend to forget that financial planning is required for everyone who has an income, needs to have a financial plan in place so that they can structure their finances and go ahead and create meaning with it to find out what is happening with their money.
Got it. So do you think like most people reduce it to just like retirement planning, like we'll just do retirement planning and that is what financial planning is for us?
Yeah, most people think that financial planning is only about investments, right? They
Mm,
just want to think where they should invest, but they forget that financial planning is also about understanding what their cash flows look like, what is the quantum of insurance they should have, how they should manage their loans. Financial planning is everything that touches your financial life, right? It should include your cash flow planning. It should include your tax planning. It should include your estate planning. All of these, in addition to investment planning and retirement planning, comes together and you have a personalized financial plan.
got it. So if someone is in their early 30s, right? What should they be actually planning for before they even start obsessing over fire?
For anyone, let it be early 30s or even 20s, someone who's just starting to work as well, getting the basics right helps, right? Having a solid foundation for your finances sets the tone, right? The more strong the foundation, the better the financial life can be. So if you've not got the foundation right, the foundation would be shaky, right? And any financial shock can completely take your life haywire, right? So to build a solid foundation, you should have a proper emergency corpus. You should have the right type of insurances. Then they can go ahead, understand their current financial state, look at what their incomes look like, what their expenses look like, being aware about what is happening with money. Right, that is the first step. If you want to become better at managing money, you should first understand what you have been doing with money. Are you spending too much on discretionary items? Are you spending too much on travel? Or is your cost of living high? Is your rent high? What is the trend? What is happening with your money? Where is your money going for the past maybe 3 months, 6 months? It will reveal a lot of secrets. It will reveal a lot of trends. It will help you identify roadblocks. It will help you identify red flags and take corrective measures.
So speaking about housing, right? Like what are the top three mistakes you keep seeing people do? Like I know one of them is housing, like you said. What may be the other two ones?
Buying a larger house than what you can afford to. You can always upgrade the house in their career. They may be single. Even if they want to buy a house and makes sense for them to buy a house, they can start with buying a studio apartment or just a 1 BHK. And then maybe once they get married and have a child, they can upgrade to a 2 BHK or a 3 BHK later. So that's one mistake. The other mistake is aggressively repaying the loan that I
Mm.
mentioned about. And third, they may not even plan well. They may not have clarity about which city they would live in. They may not think through about where their career could take them. Just end up not valuing how their money should get invested at what time.
Got it. So do you think sometimes people mistake activity for planning? Like, oh, I am already invested in so many products, so I must be doing well.
Yeah, yeah. They take diversification too far. In the name of diversification, I've seen people having, there was one person we met last month who had more than 125 mutual funds. And when he asked him why, he said, no, these are all different sectors, different categories, and each sector or each category, I have two funds. I'm diversifying. I don't want to get concentrated. I'm scared what happens if the mutual fund stops performing. When we sat together and helped him understand the amount of overlap in the mutual funds. He was shocked that he didn't need all of those 125. Max to max, he may have needed about 4 to 5 in an equity category, maybe one or two in the fixed income category. A simple uh, A straightforward investment portfolio gives you a lot of peace of mind. You don't have to worry about too many things. And you're right, right? They may end up doing too many things at the same time. They may buy in gold, they may buy in silver, they may buy in copper, and they may invest in stocks, PMSs, everything. And everyone is trying to get their attention, right? You cannot blame
Yeah,
someone who doesn't have an idea and who's not does not understand the concept of keeping things simple, because we are all constantly bombarded with so much over information, and there is also a lot of FOMO being sold, right? If you don't invest in this, you will not build wealth rapidly, right? And it may also be, PMS is also sold that it is the best way to build wealth rapidly. It is something special that you have to do. Mutual funds are only for common people. The wealthy or the rich only invest in AIFs. Yeah, they make sense. But if your net worth is only 2 crore, if you invest 1 crore in an AIF, then 50% of your wealth is exposed to one AIF manager. And if he screws up, then it can have a serious impact on your overall finances.
got it. So do you think different income sources or people who are earning in different income brackets should have a different financial plan, or is it one size fits all kind of thing?
I don't think it's one size fits all. Someone who has 4 or 5 sources of income and very high income could have a very different risk profile, right? They may have already met their basic goals, and their propensity to take higher risk or invest in instruments that are more volatile could be higher than someone who's just dependent on a salary. There is also a misconception that you should have as many sources of income as possible, right? You should have many sources of building wealth. Many sources of generating income only mean more taxes. For
Hmm,
someone who has enough income to meet their expenses, the focus should be on building wealth than generating more and more income. More and more income does not necessarily mean it is good for you. You may end up paying more taxes. Building
got
wealth
it.
should be the focus.
Hey, are you guys still listening? Then hit that subscribe button. It tells me you're finding this useful and helps more people discover conversations like this. Okay, so I wanted to get into fire now because a lot of people watching this are thinking in terms of financial freedom, early retirement, building enough, and reaching some number, right? So, do you think fire is useful as a concept?
Yeah, fire is useful, but it's been taken a bit too far, right? What I like about FIRE is the financial independence part. We had a
Right.
42-year-old recently who achieved financial independence and also retired or quit the job, but he didn't know what to do after that. He had a few interests, he cycled few times, but he got quickly bored and he came back after a year and said, no, this is not working and I'm looking to keep myself engaged. So you have to
Right.
have some plan of what you will do, how you will engage yourself. It could be just going back and following your passion, working for a company or working for a purpose. You could work for an NGO, give back to the society. Having some level of activity planned after retirement is, or after achieving your fire number is important as well.
Yeah. So, do you think some people use fire almost like an escape plan, like instead of fixing the life that they currently have?
Absolutely. They're so focused on building wealth that they forget to lead a life. They forget to follow a
Hmm,
purpose. They forget that there's something more than just building wealth. Some people will squeeze out everything, give 90% of all their income and just live on the 10% of what they earn. But they will regret later. The regret comes in multiple forms. Are not being able to experience life, not being able to travel, not being able to spend time with the family, not being able to spend money on the family, etc. So while you are focused on building wealth, understand what makes you happy, how you want to utilize that wealth, what are the things that give you joy with money, because money is an enabler. Money is an enabler to help us lead the life that we want to lead, and it should not constrain us, and achieving your fire number should not turn away your focus from having a good life as well.
So I want to touch upon a little bit on behavior because this is where a lot of otherwise smart people just sabotage themselves. So why do people make bad financial decisions even when they know what the right thing to do is? Like, is it fear? Is it impatience? What?
Yeah, you're right. You can't blame them completely. Or most people
Hmm,
uh, are not aware about what is happening and how their behavior is causing damage. They are not even aware what is causing that behavior. And most financial behaviors are picked up when you are young. It could be childhood situations, it could be experiences that were not good. They would have seen cash flow crunch during their family, in their family during their childhood. A lot of people who are first time, there are many people in India today who are first time engineers in their family, first time moving to the city as well. They've not experienced different things, different situations, and they're also carrying a lot of baggage with which they're coming. They have not been able to experience even a proper vacation during their childhood. And
Right.
when they come with that background, people could take two extremes. They could say, now I have the money, so I will spend. Because I've not been able to experience all of these things during my childhood, I have the money now. I have worked hard for it now, so I deserve to spend. And they go on a binge and spend all the savings and all their hard earned money. You could also find people on the other extreme saying that, no, I had a very bad time during my childhood. I don't want to face that situation. I want to build wealth. I want to have a house. I want to save enough money for my child. I want to do this. I want to do that. And they keep on saving without experiencing today. So financial behaviors could come in because of their past experiences. It is
Mm.
important to sit down with yourself, maybe spend an evening, go to a cafe, just think about what you've done, right? When you analyze your incomes and expenses and you categorize them and you find a trend, you can question yourself. You find out, what did I do? Why did I do? Why did I spend on a gadget when it was not necessary? Or why did I spend on that vacation? Why did I have to throw a party every month? All of these things come up and you will find answers to those questions and you will understand why you are behaving in a particular manner, and then you can course correct.
Got it. Okay, so let's make this practical, right? Suppose someone is listening to this, they feel they're financially disorganized. What should they do in the next 7 days?
Day one, you could just look at your bank statements. Day two, you could, get all the data into an Excel sheet. Day three, you categorize those expenses. Day four, you identify red flags. Day five is something that you can probably look at, understanding what are some expenses that are mandatory, what are discretionary, what expenses can I live without. Day six is beginning to understand how much emergency corpus you should have. Day seven could be understanding about insurances. It's all about incremental uh, decision making and taking action on an ongoing basis. You can't completely sort out your finances in just a week, but you can start somewhere. And that somewhere can be by being aware about what is happening in your finances.
Got it. Okay, so I just want to play a quick game. I'll give you a few real life situations, and you have to tell me whether this person is planning well or panicking.
Yeah, great.
Okay.
Let's go.
So a 32-year-old software engineer invests every month, but has no idea where the rest of his salary goes. Planning well or panicking?
Planning bad.
Okay. A couple has term insurance, they have SIPs, but they've never discussed their long-term money goals together. Planning well or planning bad?
I think planning bad. A lot of people, a lot of couples fear conflict and they
Hmm.
avoid discussions around money. It's okay to have different opinions around money. And it is important to give space to your partner. One partner could be a saver, another could be a spender. The saver should not get too obsessed about saving, and the spender should have enough room to spend on some basic things. It's all about aligning and bringing your finances together, understanding each other.
Got it. So a person checks their portfolio every day, changes strategy every few months, and calls it being financially active, right? So are they planning well or planning bad?
That's planning bad, right? If you get too obsessed about looking at your portfolio every day and multiple times in a day, then something is not right. You're not confident about your decision. That is why you're checking in so many times, right? If you're confident about why you invested in the first place and towards which goal you invested, then you may not be looking at your portfolio. You cannot
Hmm.
invest in equity mutual fund and think that if there is an emergency, I will withdraw from it. Right. So you have to align your investments to your goals and to your timelines. If you have a
Hmm.
goal that is due in 1 year, there is no point of investing in equity.
So someone has built a solid emergency fund, has term insurance, life insurance, invests regularly, and understands why they are investing. So planning well or
Planning very,
panicking?
very well. this person has that
Okay.
clarity. This person knows what he is doing. This person understands the advantage of investing regularly in a disciplined manner. The person knows that needs to manage risk. He needs to provide for his family in his absence. He needs to take care of medical emergencies, and he needs to be prepared if there is a job loss. He understands all of these things, and hence he has an emergency corpus or an insurance or has the monthly SIPs. So definitely planning well.
So I like this conversation because it brings money back to real life, right? Not just returns, not just products, but actually building clarity and structure. So I think a lot of people watching this will realize that before chasing fire, they probably need to fix their foundations first, like you said. So Vivek, this was genuinely helpful. Thank you so much for doing this and coming onto this podcast.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, thank you. If you found this conversation useful, you'll definitely enjoy the next one I've linked here. And if you want more real conversations like this, make sure you subscribe. I'm bringing one of these every week.